What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. So in terms of my overall opinion, this is one that I've always liked, and after rewatching it, I'm still a fan. So yeah, my opinion on this one has not changed. I think it has a lot going for it. It does get a little bit weird, but yeah, I think overall it's a good movie, and I kind of like the direction it went. Like I said, it is weird, but I'm kind of here for the ride. So yeah, this one, yeah, I think it's still a very enjoyable film. So there you go. Jumping into the plot summary, the movie focuses on this girl, Tina, and she has psychokinetic abilities. And when she was a very young girl, she accidentally killed her father with her psychokinetic abilities. And, as a teenager, she's still dealing with the trauma that has caused her. Like, she's still plagued by this. It's still she is not over it. So basically, her doctor takes her to the location where her father died, which is Camp Crystal Lake. And the doctor, he's like a total snake. He's just like a complete asshole. He says, "Oh yeah, we're going back to the place where your father died for your treatment. This is supposed to help with your growth and recovery." But that's total BS. The reason he brings her there is because he wants to like heighten her emotional state. He wants her in a constant state of stress because her psychokinetic abilities come out when she's stressed. So he's a piece of work. He's a real knucklehead. So yeah, he takes her there saying that it's for her treatment and it's gonna like help her get better if she's not in the mental hospital, if she's like out, at the cabin, and it'll help her like get over her father's death. That's BS. He's just trying to do research on her for his own gain. But anyways, there's also this cabin like right next door, and there's all these teenagers there. They're waiting for their friend. They're gonna throw him a surprise birthday party, and as the movie progresses, the teenagers keep getting killed by Jason because, earlier on in the movie, Tina inadvertently, you know, brought Jason back. She inadvertently like lifted him up from the lake, like broke, because he was still chained up from part 6. She inadvertently like broke the chain off because she was like thinking about her dad and thinking about like bringing him back. So she like with her psychic abilities, she unleashed Jason. She unchained him, and throughout the rest of the movie, he's picking off teenagers, and then Tina and Jason have this big showdown, big fight later on. So that is the basic plot summary. Something that I noticed about this, like I've always noticed this when I watch this movie, but I really like the look of the actual forest in this and the lake. A lot of the other Friday the 13th movies, they have a very lush look. They're very green. They're very vibrant. The forest is, it's full of green leaves and it's very bright. The forest in this was very dark, and the trees were these like thin, kind of wiry looking trees, and it just like the actual location, the actual forest looked very spooky. All the night shots where Jason is doing his thing were great. Like the lake front looked great. Like the lake in this almost had like a murky look. Like it didn't look like the lake in the other ones. Like the lake had a brighter look in the other ones, and it would look like a fun summer camp destination. This one had a creepier vibe, and I think part of it is because I don't know this for sure, but like I saw like little like pine needles on the ground and stuff, and it looked like maybe they filmed it like around fall or close to fall. That's what I think. Like that's my hypothesis as to why there's not as many leaves. But I thought it looked really good, and there was like it had like a good creepy feel. But something else that I was thinking about the lake itself is, I don't know if other people uh, think this as well, but when I was watching the movie this time, the lake looked really, really, really small. Like I feel like you could almost like see the end of it, and it was just like I was thinking about that. I was like, isn't this lake extremely small? Like, okay, we're supposed to believe. Okay, there was. Okay, all of the other movies, they took place on and or around Crystal Lake, and there's all these different destinations. You know, you have the actual Camp Crystal Lake. You have, you know, the training center for the counselors. You have Higgins Haven. You have the Jarvis cabins. There's a, you know, like this halfway house mental institution nearby. Like, I'm supposed to believe that all these places are on and around Crystal Lake, and the lake in this looked really small. So that was just something that I was thinking, since I kind of, you know, for the videos, I gotta kind of look at the movie with more of an analytical eye. I'm like, how were there all these destinations in the other movie if this is the lake? Because of course, you know, they use different locations for every movie. I'm like, this is a small lake for there to be that many, you know, that many little locations like that. These cabins, these camps must be, you know, back to back, like really, really like jammed together. So yeah, that was something that I noticed. But yeah, overall, I thought the look was really nice for this movie, for like the actual location. And okay, something else that I want to point out is, you know, you hear this, you hear this is like a running theme that you hear. Sometimes people watch the Friday the 13th movies and they're rooting for Jason. Like, for some people, that's the fun of it. For me personally, I don't really root for Jason. Like, I root for whoever the main characters are. But in this one, I was definitely rooting for Jason at times. There were two characters that I definitely wanted to see, you know, I wanted to see him die straight up. And people probably already know who I'm going to say. Dr. Cruz and Melissa. These two characters were like the biggest assholes. Like they really played up the asshole factor on these characters. Like Dr. Cruz, he's just, you know, he's sneaky. He's like using this girl. He's abusing his power. He's like, I'm gonna have you committed. Like he just, you know, she's like a pretty level-headed girl. Like, and he just wants to like keep her institutionalized so he can keep doing his research. And then he uses Tina's mom as a human shield. And then yeah, Melissa, she's just, I mean, she's just nasty throughout the whole movie. She's jealous. She's like a total bitch to Tina. She's just like, Melissa is just the worst, and she's got that like snobby vibe. Like oh, look at my pearl necklace. Oh, look at me. I'm such a big deal. Like look at like she's just, I don't know. She's just super unlikable, and she's not nice. And I was definitely rooting for those characters to get killed by Jason, but I feel like their kills, like once, like I was like waiting for them to get killed, but I feel like their kills were lackluster. Like Dr. Cruz, you know, you think he's gonna get killed with that giant saw, and he does, but it's like it's a cutaway, and he just gets it in the stomach, and then like Melissa gets the axe in the head. That was kind of funny, but I don't know. I feel like for these characters, like you really want them to get a good death. I feel like the deaths that they got were a little bit lackluster, and yeah, I feel like there wasn't the payoff with like them having like these like terrible demises or these really theatrical demises. It was just like, okay, they're dead. But the whole thing with the cutaway, that's not necessarily the filmmaker's fault. There were so many issues with the MPAA, and I'm gonna get into that later. That's like one of the negatives that I'm gonna get into later. But yeah, before I get into some negatives, I'm going to get into a positive. So I'm just going to go over my favorite couple kills. So on some basic bro type stuff, my favorite kill is of course the sleeping bag kill. That's iconic, probably the most iconic kill in the entire movie. And I think it's super creative. But I also like when like the girl's body hits the tree, you hear this loud smack sound effect, and it's almost funny. Like it's so pronounced, it's so like in your face, and it sounds like almost like cartoonish. Like it seems like a sound effect that would be on like a Tom and Jerry episode. When like I don't know, listen back when it, or look up the clip on YouTube. Like when the sleeping bag kill takes place and the girl's body actually hits the tree, that smack sound is the funniest thing ever. So yeah, I love that kill, and I think the sound effect is kind of funny. And then my other favorite kill is when the girl from Slumber Party Massacre 2 she's swimming naked and Jason is like underwater and just drags her down. I just think that's so creepy. I think like swimming in lakes is creepy, and like drowning would be creepy, and if something grabbed your leg and you're just like swimming at night, like I think that's the scariest thing. So just in terms of scare factor, I thought that was probably the scariest kill. But in terms of like a theatrical kill, like a creative kill, the sleeping bag kill, you can't touch. So those are my two favorite kills. But like I said, this movie was butchered by the MPAA, and I'm gonna get into that. So, you did have some creative kills, and Jason was using a variety of weapons, but so much of the gore in this had to be cut out. Like they had so many alternative deaths that had to be cut out, and it's a shame because it really does it really does hinder my overall enjoyment of the movie when it's just like so many of these kills are cutaways. And I like, well, not like, I love the look of Jason in this. You have the first appearance of Kane Hodder. I think the location is cool. I like the whole Carrie versus Jason thing. Like there's so much that I like, and it's just a shame. Like this, I feel like this is a really good entry, but the fact that the kills are just like so tame, that's what we're here for. Like that's a big part of why we're here. It's like it's a Friday the 13th movie. We want some gory deaths, and yeah, the fact that there's just so many cutaways in this, it really does hinder like my enjoyment of the movie. And then the other negative that I want to get into is I think this movie has the dumbest ending. The ending is so stupid. It's just this movie, it's totally fictional. At this point in the franchise, Jason's a zombie. He's fighting a girl with psychokinetic powers. Like it's total fiction at this point. But like what the F? Like the ending where Tina brings her dad up from the water and he's just magically alive. Like, is that her power now? Can she bring people back to life now? Or was she just, with her abilities, almost using his body as a puppet? But it looked like he was alive. So it's like, is he a zombie? But he doesn't look like a zombie. He looks, he died when she was a little girl. She's like almost a grown woman now. She's a teenager. It looks like her dad was dead for one day. Like he's got maybe some like mud on his face, but like this dude, he's just looking like clean. Like he doesn't like, I don't know, like how is his body so preserved? Like I don't know. I could never get around that ending. It's just even though this movie is fictional, there's a lot of crazy weird stuff going on. Does it really make the most sense? Like, oh, some zombie guy is fighting a girl with psychokinetic powers. No, but that ending was like beyond stupid, and it's a shame because the third act was so good. It was so action-packed. Like, when Tina and Jason are fighting, like, Tina, that's the whole thing. Her powers are heightened when she's like in a very emotional state. Her mom is killed by Jason, and I mean she's lost it at that point. She's out for blood, and like the stakes are high. Like she has like a now she like really has a reason to kill Jason, and their whole fight sequence is fantastic. She's like dropping like little balconies on Jason, and then like the whole house is on fire. Like all that stuff is fantastic, and then that like ending where the dad comes out, it's just like I'm just like what the heck, like I don't know. I always thought that was stupid. Maybe some people like that, but I don't know. Like I could have done without the dad coming out of the water. Like I don't know. Why couldn't they have just like blown Jason up, or she could have, I don't know, done something like psychokinetically had a boulder come on him in the water, something. I don't know. But the dad coming out of the water, I always hated that. So I still don't like it. And then just some random points that I wanted to point out. So there's that one kid who his whole character is that he's like the biggest stoner ever. And then when you see his stash, like that one girl who he hooked up with is like, you know, going through the house, and then, you know, you see like all his papers on the ground, and you see his stash. Like, I know it's just fake weed for a movie, but you know, I gotta be a nerd in these videos. I gotta be like a total analytical fanboy nerd. Like, this shit looked like just straight shake, you know, which is fine. Like when I used to smoke, I would smoke Reggie. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, you can only smoke top shelf. Like you could smoke Reggie, you could smoke shake. Like it'll still get you where you're trying to go. It's like with drinking and stuff. Like I drink cheap beers on the reg. Like I'm not like a snob with shit, but like if your whole character is that you're the biggest stoner, you know, why are you gonna? You can't be smoking mid. You can't be smoking shake. Like you got to be smoking some top shelf. But I know it's like for a movie that, well, how are you gonna get some super realistic looking weed? And you know they probably just threw some oregano in the bag or something like that. But I just thought, like as a viewer, I just thought that was funny. Like, dude, your whole thing, like all you talk about is weed. All you do is smoke. And you would think like if weed is that important to you, you'd be smoking some good weed, and you're smoking straight shake, bro. Like I don't know. And then another thing that I thought was like a WTF moment is, okay, Nick, his whole character, I don't know if I mentioned Nick, but yeah, Nick is this guy, and you know, like there's like a romance between Tina and Nick is like, yeah, I used to run around a rough crowd, and now I'm in night school, and the guy Michael, who it's his birthday and they're trying to throw a surprise party for him, that's Nick's cousin. But yeah, there's like this whole romance subplot between Tina and Nick. But anyways, Nick, like I said, he's like supposed to be this this reformed bad boy from the rough side of the tracks, but he's got a heart of gold, right? So I'm thinking like as the movie's going on, I'm like, okay, what he's talking about running around a rough crowd, like what was he doing? Was he committing crimes? Was he in a gang or whatever? You know, he must have he got kicked out of his dad's house. Like he must have done something bad. He must have been up to no good. And then he's supposed to be this like reformed bad boy, this like guy who used to be like a total delinquent. And then at the end of the movie, he's like grabbing a gun and shooting Jason. I feel like he was like so reluctant to shoot the gun. Like he was holding it right, and you know, like it wasn't like he was shooting it wrong. Like he was shooting it absolutely correctly, but he just looked like he had like never really shot a gun before. Like he was so scared. Like he wasn't like pow, 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 like just like rapid fire. He was like one shot at a time. Like he looked like he was like scared to shoot it. So yeah, that was just kind of a WTF moment for me, because I don't know, maybe I'm getting too deep into it, but like maybe when he's talking about he was hanging around a rough crowd, maybe he was talking about he was doing drugs more. But I was thinking like maybe he was committing crimes, maybe he was in a gang or something, who knows? And it's like, if that's your whole character, where you're this guy from the rough side of the tracks who used to hang with the bad crowd, you think you would like be a little bit more comfortable shooting the gun. You'd be like bop bop bop, just like rapid firing, you know. But he's just like, I don't know, like one shot, and he's like scared to shoot it again. So Yeah, that was the only other point that I wanted to get into. So, yeah, like I said, this movie has a lot going for it. I think the performances were pretty darn good. The look of Jason was great. The location was cool. I liked how they kind of got weird with it, did something different. I thought it worked well. So, in terms of a recommendation, I would definitely recommend Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. I think this is a fun one. This is a good entry. So, yeah, that's been my recommendation, and that has been my review. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.